Some of these signs are a bit close to the knuckle, Raymond. Does that place still exist?
It does, yes.
Oh, boy,
people live in it.
And you see, are there still signs like this, old signs turning up in auctions? You know,
on Wednesday week, there's about 40 of these signs here at an auction down there in Limerick. 40. They're all in Easy Live.
And somebody has these in their garage or something. And
it's pubs that have closed down.
Pubs that have closed
yes,
down. Oh yes, and they adorn the walls.
Right. I bought that there, and at the pub in Cavan. I bought that there last Monday in Cavan.
Right.
And bought a few other things down in Cavan as well.
Right.
Now.
Right. Where are we now? What are we looking at here?
Well,
of
when we're down to the bottom end, I showed you the sign, the Automobile Club of Great Britain in Ireland.
Yes.
So they were involved with the Gordon Bennett races in Ireland in 1903.
Right.
So they joined up then with the IAC, Irish Automobile Club. Right. They were the two bodies that ran that race. It ran the race down in Athy in County Kildare.
Yes.
And then there was an Irish fortnight. So only one event took place in Northern Ireland, which we'll see later on around the corner here. It was based outside Castle Llewellyn, Clough and Castle Llewellyn,
right.
Ballygowan Hill. So it was the IAC that organised that run, which is here. So then after 1916, because so many people in Ireland used their cars during the First World War to help the army to carry injured soldiers to hospitals and everything else. So they got royal status then in after 1918.
Right. And
that's where it became there, the RIAC.
Right.
So that's all up there. And then you see Galtex petrol up here, Galtex motor oils. They were very early into the Republic of Ireland in the late 20s. And they were owned by a company called Valero in America, an American company. So they were one of the first brands. It was new in Ireland, was Galtex. Now, if you look over here, you'll see Texaco.
Yes.
Now, Texaco came into Great Britain. Texaco were on the go from the late 20s as well in Ireland and Great Britain, England, Scotland, Wales. So in 1934, in England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, they changed the name of the brand to Regent. Regent, would you see it up there? And then down south it became Caltex.
Right.
That's the early Texaco sign up there, pre-1934.
Right.
And then after 1978 it all amalgamated then, and it's all, as is the new Texaco sign here, 1976.
Right.
So that's it all there. Now you'll see an interloper here, Speed. That was a Carrickfergus brand. And in the early 50s, Texaco bought them out to get their depot in Carrickfergus. But they had the best depot in Northern Ireland for bringing the oil tankers in.
Right.
And now that's knocked down now, and it's now Marks and Sparks shops there now on this place.
Those green signs must be relatively new.
They are. Well, those two new, they're especially are fairly new. They were built when the new motorway was built 20 years ago between Dublin and Belfast.
Right.
And I had a club here last year, and there was a fellow standing beside the two signs.
Yes.
And he says to me, "Do you know where they came from?" I said, "Yes." I said, "The Carrickdale Hotel." So he says, "That's correct."
I know exactly where you are.
He says to me, "Do you know who made the signs?" I says, "A firm in Newry made the signs." That's right. And then he says to me, do I know who actually made the sign? I says, "I don't." And he stands there, "Me, I made those two signs."
We have stayed in the Carrickdale.
Yes.
And you go down underneath, so right. You do to the gardens and whatnot.
Right.
Aye.
So because of that, that's why I bought them then.
Yes. Right, where are we going now?
Now, if you look here, you'll see the Levitas. That's the globe that I was after. And at 35 globes when I got that globe there.
Yes.
That's the one that started the whole collection here.
This Derv one.
Derv, because where my father worked in Carryduff, as I said to you at the start, there were 2 Levitas globes.
And that was over 40 years ago.
That's right, 44 years ago. And
so you're talking 1980.
1980. That's right. That's when I started.
That's when you started.
That's right.
This
disease.
This hobby.
This disease.
This disease.
Now, strange thing is where you buy things. Now, there's a Levitas sign there.
Yes.
Which is used in Ireland.
Right.
Now, I bought that in Australia.
In Australia?
Australia a few years ago. So, as I told you earlier on, I had an Australian friend here 2 years ago.
Yes.
And I showed him the sign, and he's been in Australia from here, he's away 50 years. And I says to him, how long would it take that parcel to come from Australia to here? Oh, 3-4 weeks, maybe a month at least. I says, you're talking nonsense.
Oh.
He says, why? He said, it came in 5 days. Raymond Walls, you're talking nonsense. I said, I'm not talking nonsense, I can prove it to you. So look at that's a piece of cardboard, this was part of the box.
I'm surprised.
As it came in. I said, you see that date there? I says,
the way we go again.
We'll walk down here. This is my collection of model lorries. This side here is all one brand, AEC, which I've always been very, because my father had AECs all his life, and I've always had AECs as well. And this is all miscellaneous brands of lorries in there. And
you'd be at an auction and you'd spot one of those?
That's right.
So those have been collected up individually?
Oh yes, Now those cabinets are made out of bus radiator shells.
Yes.
That's a radiator shell on an AC bus.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I took the guts all out of it and made it into a cabinet.
Wow, I love models. My goodness gracious. Boy, so.
And everything in there is AEC.
Right.
Now, if you look at the top of the left-hand radiator, it says AEC on it.
Yes.
At the top. And then there's this other one here, it says ACLO.
That's
ACLO.
Right, okay.
In Germany, there was a big electrical company called AEG. And they took AEC to court for using the name AEC. But they
copyright.
Copyright. They said they were very big in Spain, Portugal, and some countries in South America where AEC were very strong.
Right.
So what AEC did was then to keep them sweet, to change the name for those countries to ACLO.
Right.
That's for Associated Companies, Lorries and Omnibuses.
Right.
Very simple.
Just not to annoy anybody.
These are all the price tickets that are on the petrol pumps.
That's right. That's right. Boy, so. Oh. So you're saying that most of your best acquisitions have been found in the west of Ireland?
Well, stuff that I bought in Ireland, the west has been very good to me.
Yes, yes.
It has been.
So you would get stuff over there that you wouldn't get
here
in the east.
That's right. You like that Newcastle sign and all that.
Yes, yes.
A lot of other stuff. This is all mobile oil tins all here. These top rows here, they're all antifreeze. And then this is from there on down is all shell.
There's all the stuff out of them, like.
Oh, they're all empty. Well, some are full.
Some are full.
That's the last one I bought there.
Yes.
Bought that at Easter time. Bought that in Cambridge.
Yes.
That's still full, never opened.
Does it give you a buzz whenever you come across something like that?
It does, yes.
Right.
Because nobody's ever seen that one. And I gave £500 for that tin. And I paid more than that for some. And others have bought it for a tenner. And cans I bought for a tenner, people have paid, today, the last 2 years, have paid £2,500 and £3,000 for them.
But you see, if somebody doesn't have an interest or doesn't, you know, recognise what they have sitting out in their grandfather's garage, it will go on a skip.
It does. So that's all antifreeze there. Now over here then. Now we'll do that. We'll do that.
Hold on, I got these boys. Oh, there's a tank trailer. I love wee models like this.
That's all the railway carriages, railway tankers.
Boy, so.
Because my uncle, he worked on the railways. In Africa, he worked on the tankers.
Those would fit onto somebody's railway tracks.
Yes,
because I have videoed a lot of railway tracks going round.
Len Ball, and you know Len Ball and those ones all from Cumber.
No, it was, you know, it was various shows and what have you.
He'd have his display at the shows.
Well, I wouldn't know the man beneath him, you know. Right, where we're going?
So we'll go back here then. You missed these here then. This cupboard here is all shell.
Right.
With all wee shell measures up there.
There's so much paraphernalia, so there is. So much. And folks that are watching this, you really need to come and experience this for yourselves.
There's more we dashboard kits and cars for St Christopher badges. All different oil companies had their own brand.
Yes.
And they had to put those on the cars.
Patron saint of travel, St Christopher.
That's right.
My goodness.
These here are more car badges. These are Irish Automobile Club and then RAC. So that there is 1909 to 1916. And that's from 1916 to 1922. And then these are there's the ones that are post 1922 over there.
My goodness.
These are different ones in Northern Ireland, the brands that were in the cars. There's East End Motor Services, Newton Arts Road,
East End,
St Christopher badge there, and then you have Morrison's at Grey Abbey, and then there's a van over me.
Tourist Trophy, that became the TT.
I was offered 1,000 for that.
Dear help us all.
The reason being, Stratham Limited only built the one car, and that place is now an hotel today, and they have that car in the middle of the place.
And they would want that to go along.
They want that badge for it, but they'll never get it in my time. This is all.
The Castrol.
Yes.
Everything to do with Castrol.
It's all here. Now, I started off as Wakefield.
Right.
Wakefield was the man's name. I started up the company. And I said to you very briefly earlier on, 1903, when the Gordon Bennett races took place down south, one event took place in Northern Ireland. That was when you're travelling from Clough to Castlewellan, you go down the big hill into Ansborough, up the other side into Castlewellan.
Yes.
That's the Clough side is known as Ballygowan Hill. So the race cars there in 1903, and you had all the different car manufacturers had their cars at it. Their cars built in Belfast, Donegal Pass, called Chambers. He had his cars there.
Yes.
And Mr. Wakefield says to him, Mr. Chambers, your car smells very nice. What oil are you using? Same as everybody's using. You can't be. There's a nice smell of your car. That's the road stinking.
Yes.
Well, he says, afterwards he pestered him. He says, I put a wee drop of castor oil into it. He got a patent that idea. I'm only interested in building cars. So he says, can I do what you want to do? So that's how the word Castrol came about.
Why so?
A Northern Ireland expression.
Why so?
Now there's all the early Maxwell stuff here. As I said earlier on, McMullen Brothers got the franchise from X 1920. So Bow Rings were the company in England that had that. Those two tins are pre-1920.
Right.
But it took me 20 years to get that middle tin there, that round one. 20 years to get it.
Yeah.
That one there came out of Cane and Cumber. That's the cheap one. That's
right.
the dear one.
That's the dear one. Right. Now,
all the brands here. And then this is all Irish stuff, all here, RAC stuff. These cabinets.
This is all County Down and what.
That's right. And Shamrock Petrol there. This is all the Northern Ireland stuff. The Munster Sims, the Maxwell, and then there's all their route maps there as well. Levitas was the other brand that was used here. They were based in Larne. Now I put these lights on here. Let them warm up a wee minute. You're around the corner here now.
Now this is going to run out. The camera, the battery.
You want to play it here first then?
Well,
I don't need your left.